Hi, it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for another video edition of Widower Wednesday. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower, and today I'm responding to a Dear Abby column where she gives some advice to a woman who is in a relationship with a widower, and wow, is that advice a flaming pile of garbage. So we're going to get into it, talk about the question, her advice, and why it is bad advice. And this is, again, I think it's an issue that I deal with all the time. I think there's lots of misconceptions around grief and widowers and how best to handle it. And so I'm not necessarily blaming Dear Abby for this. I don't know, I know that her daughter has taken over the column. I don't know if she's ever dated a widower or anything. So I'm going to give Dear Abby a break, but I want to really, the point of this is to really kind of teach you how to have a healthy relationship with a widower and why you should not do what Dear Abby said here. So here is the headline of the advice column that was sent to me. It says, "Woman worries relationship with widower will upset his family." Seems like a common. That's a common worry, by the way. So let's see what it says. So the woman writes, "Dear Abby, my niece's mother-in-law of 32 years, Helen, died 7 months ago. I have been quietly seeing her widowed boyfriend Wayne for about 3 months now. We knew each other only socially up until then. After Helen's death, my niece, her husband, and their children went on vacation because Helen's illness had been a long, drawn-out ordeal. I was tasked with giving Wayne a nightly call to check in on him, which I did. We realized we had a lot in common, and as they say, the rest is history. The problem is telling his children and grandchildren he and Helen were married 59 years, but didn't have a happy marriage for the last 23. Should we tell them, or should we continue keeping it a secret?" So just a comment on before I get to Dear Abby's advice here. Pretty common story. Wayne here has been dating a few months after his late wife's death. Things just kind of worked out with Helen. Again, I've seen that a lot where it's just like people start talking and hey, suddenly we're in a relationship and things are working out. We have a lot of common, and then of course the concern is hey, we like each other, but in this case, and this is also very common, it hasn't been a year yet. Do we tell people? Do we keep it a secret? Typically, it's the widower, by the way, who wants to keep it a secret. It's usually the woman says, when you're going to introduce me, let's make this official. But maybe there seems to be a little bit of hesitancy on her part. Again, worried about what people will think. Again, all of this is normal. So if you're dating a widower, he's hesitant to introduce you to the family. You or him are worried about what people will think. Completely normal, but it's the issue is with Dear Abby's advice here. And so this is what Dear Abby says, then I'll give you what I think. So Dear Abby says, "Although you have no reason to be sneaking around, in my opinion, you should stay quiet for another few months until it has been a year since Helen's passing. At that point, Wayne should tell the niece and other relatives that he thinks you have a lot in common and you are going to see each other. In a perfect world, everyone would be glad that the two of you are finding happiness after so much sadness." Okay, very brief, but basically it's like keep it a secret another, 4 months or something like that, and then tell people that you are interested in seeing each other. Okay. Major problems. I understand where she's coming from. I think she's thinking that, hey, you give it a little more time, people will be more receptive. No. So, first of all, lying about a relationship is never a good idea. I understand it might be hard to tell people about the relationship. You love these people, you're worried about the reaction. I think just about every widower has felt that way. I felt that way. Most of the widowers I talk to, they want to tell people about this woman, but worried about reactions. I get the concern, but lying about the relationship is never a good idea. I've never seen it where people have lied about the relationship or what they're doing and it's turned out well. Because the truth is, people get more mad when they find out it's been held a secret and that you've been lying to them, as opposed to, that you're dating so soon after a wife has died. They get more mad they still may be mad at the fact that you're dating again, but they get more mad at the fact that you've kept it a secret from them, like you don't trust them or anything like that. So they will eventually find out the truth, and I guarantee it makes things worse. So the fact that you're hiding things doesn't make it better. And I'll give you my own example. Now, I never hid my relationship with Juliana, but I did hide my relationship with Jennifer. I hid the fact that I was dating again from friends and family. And when the word eventually got out, because it's going to get out one way or another, people were already shocked that I was dating so soon, but the fact that I had kept it a secret or had kind of told them, hey, by the way, Jennifer's coming to town, I just wanted you to know that, went over a lot worse. If I could go back and redo things, I would have been a lot more honest with people about what I was doing. Now, that wasn't the case with Juliana, but just some of my early dating activities and the first kind of serious relationship I got in. I hit it. Again, I was worried what people would think. I wasn't even sure why I was dating. So again, I understand the thing, but I've seen it again and again and again in coaching sessions as well. It goes over a lot worse when you keep it a secret, so don't keep it a secret. And then understand here, people aren't magically ready after the year mark. For a lot of people, it's still too soon. It's like, oh my gosh, mom's only been dead a year. Shouldn't you wait 2 or 3 years or 10 years or never date again? So again, people aren't magically ready after the year mark. Waiting 3 months is not going to improve people's attitude on this. If they have a problem with it now, they're probably going to have an issue with it 3 months from now. Odds are that's not going to change. And I guess a bigger concern with this, and this is something, again, I deal with a lot in coaching sessions, is people letting the thoughts or the possible thoughts and actions of others dictate the relationship. I see it all the time with adult children, for example. The adult children are mad that dad's dating again, so they emotionally blackmail him, or you can't see the grandkids, or I'm not coming over until you break off this relationship. Horrible, horrible stuff. And, sometimes they do it, sometimes the widowers break it off, sometimes they don't. But you're basing, again, we're all talking about adults here. You're basing having a relationship on the thoughts and actions of others, and that is never a good idea. You need to learn to trust your gut, and you have, at some point, especially when you're an adult, you got to do what's best for you. Now, people may disagree with it. I would hope that they'd at least, again, people don't have to accept the relationship. I always say people should at least be polite about it, even if they don't understand it. But you can't let the thoughts or actions of others dictate your relationship, because you're not in control. You're giving your agency and your freedom over to people, and especially you're giving it to people that don't even know that you're dating again. I mean, come on, what is that? Don't do that. And honestly, this Helen, the lady that wrote this article, you should expect the same behavior from him as you would any other guy. You shouldn't, if you wouldn't expect any other guy to hide the relationship, then you shouldn't expect it from this guy. Now, I know a lot of you are wondering, well, okay, you've told us what's wrong with Abby's advice. What advice would you give the widower on how to handle it? And this is how I would handle the situation. Is I would go and I would talk to whoever he needs to talk to, her niece, husband, children, whoever. I would just talk to these people. I don't know, again, I don't know if it's best one-on-one or in a group setting, because I don't know these people, but I would talk to these people either individually or in groups or small groups, and this is what I would tell them. I would say, look, I want you to know that I always, that I love my late wife, that she was a wonderful person, and whatever. We had, in this case, 59 years together. We had this marriage, and who cares if the marriage was good or not? That's irrelevant to how you handle this. It doesn't matter if you had a crappy marriage or a good one. You just basically say, look, I love my late wife, but she's, and again, you say it nicer than this. I'm just giving you the framework to frame this. But you say, look, I love my late wife. She's always going to have a special place in my heart. But I do want you to know I'm starting to date again. I'm in a relationship with Helen. I'd like to set up some time where you can meet Helen and get to know her better. I understand if that's hard for you. I'm not going to force you to be here, but I do want you to know what I'm doing. And I'm telling you this because I love you and I care about you, and I just want you to know what's going on. I don't want there to be any secrets between us. Now, I've kind of simplified the conversation, but really that's how it has to go. That's how the conversation has to go. And and who knows how people are going to react. Some people might be happy, some people may be upset, some people may be sad, some people may not know what to think. But the point is that you're not going to stop your life or from living your life. You're letting people know what's going on, and you're not asking for their permission. Notice that nowhere in this conversation are you saying, well, I'd like your permission to do this. It's like, no, you just say, this is what's going on. I love you enough to be honest with you. Maybe some of you think this is too soon, but again, I'd like you to have a chance to meet Helen and get to know her and talk to her. I'm going to set something up in a few weeks where you can come over and do that if you feel comfortable doing that. That's really the way to handle it, and that's the way to do it. Waiting a year, probably waiting till that magical year mark, not really going to change a lot of people's minds. And I guarantee you follow that advice there that dear Abby gave, and people find out, because they will find out, whether it's from you or someone else, they will find out that you're seeing this Helen person. They will be a lot more upset that you kept them in the dark than the fact that you're dating again, and you're going to ruin a lot of relationships. All right, I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Widower Wednesday. Feel free to leave a comment below, share your own stories or how you would handle this situation. Feel free to schedule a coaching session, and don't forget to subscribe, and so you can get notifications when I post another video. and I will see you all next Wednesday.